Okay, let us start the class. So, in the previous session, we tried to understand different data types and variables. Okay, so many things I have discussed in the previous session. So within that, I tried to brief you how many types of data in Python and what are the variables. Okay, how to assign the values. Okay, to variables. So in today's session, we will try to understand how to assign in today's class, we will try to understand how to get output of multiple variables. Okay, so already I have briefed that print function will be used to get output. Okay, print function that will be used to get output. Today, how to get output of multiple variables. Suppose if you have a variable x is equal to 5, then y is equal to 9, and next z is equal to 10. Okay, so now you want to get the output of all these variables by a single print statement. Is it possible? Yeah. Print comma x, capital X, comma y, comma z. So it is possible. Now you compile this code, then you will get the output as what? 5, 9, 10. 5, 9, 10. These are the values assigned for the 5, 9, 10 integer values assigned to x, y, z variables. So you have declared the values, you have assigned the values to variables separately, but you can get print of all these variables, means multiple variables, in a single print statement by separating of comma. Okay, and next we can do in separate manner that by same x, y, z, but with the plus, okay, let us see. Okay, now what output you will get? What output type of output you have? Where is that? This is the 5, 9, 10. Okay, 5, 9, 10 means what? In single line. Try to understand the difference between here x, y, z means what? How did you get the output here? 5, 9, 10. This is the output of, okay, 5, 9, 10 by separation of commas. Here by plus, what happened here? By plus it is added. It is added. Okay, x plus y plus z means these are all integer values. So it added that. But if they added 5, 9, 15, 5 and 14 plus 10, 24. But if they have any string type of data, then what happens? String. I told you that string can be put in single quotation marks or double quotation marks. There is no any issue. A single quotation. This is the, okay. Here a string kept in double quotation marks. Here is kept in, this is a string kept in single quotation marks. Here two words are there, means string type of data kept in single quotation mark. Now, what will be happened here? Here, you want to get the output by the print statement by separate the commas for all variables are separate with the commas. Here, all variables are added with plus. Let us see called what happened. Now, this is called, try to understand. Vasu is very good. Wherever you have kept commas, okay, Vasu is very good. Here, Vasu is very good, but what is this? Vasu and is. Vasu and is. Okay. So, this is called, if you do this, this is called concatenation of the strings. This is called what? Concatenation. Concatenation of the strings. Concatenation of the strings, okay? Concatenation of the strings means, try to understand, simply nothing but adding of strings, okay? So adding of strings means it will keep all the strings one by one beside of another string. Vasu beside of is, okay? But is, if you want to see some word space in between Vasu and is, here you adjust this one, okay? Surely you will get some word space here. Now Vasu is, okay? Vasu and is separated. Now, if you don't want to keep any space, then if you, now what happened, this string is kept just beside of Vasu. There may be no any space Vasu is, okay? Now, if you want to keep any space, you adjust this one, you will get very nice, okay? This is called concatenation of the string. So, you have declared different, that is what, strings for different variables, but you can, if you want to get all the variables in single line by concatenation by simply plus operator, so the strings will be added like this. If you keep integers, all that numbers will be added because plus will be the symbol operator for addition. But if you do like this, it's called concatenation of the strings. Concatenation, adding of the string. Concatenation means adding of strings. So here, what I did, okay. So this is called how to get multiple outputs of the how to get output of for multiple variables. Okay, I told you that print function will be used to get output to see on the display. So some functions we studied in the previous, that is what ID function I have used at the time of data types. ID function is used to know the memory location where the data is stored, and type function we have used to know the which type of data it is. So one more function that is called len function. Len function is used to know the length of the string. Okay. Len function. So how to use the len function? Suppose if this is Z holds some string. So if you want to know how many characters are here, simply use print, okay, function in bracket, use len function, okay, len function. So you need to call that any, suppose list. If you want to find out list is what? List is a list, okay? So it has many values. How many elements are here? How many elements values? Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it will give the result as 8. This is the length of that list. So length word, how many values are there? So if you change this as, if you want to put another variable like z, z is what? Z is a variable which is holding this string. So if you pass z value here, capital Z, Z is a variable holds a string type of data, 11 characters. Why 11 character? Try to count them. Very 4 characters. Good has 8 characters. Why it is giving 11? Because these white spaces will be counted as character. Okay, if you don't want to give any space, now it is okay here. Now you adjust this one just in between one word to another word, one space you have given. So 4 and 4, 8, 9. The answer will be 9. The length of this is what? 9. Okay. If you increase back after good one space, if you put one space just before the total 4, 4, 8, 9, between one space 10, 11. Total will be 11. So the length function can be used to find out how many characters are present in a string, otherwise how many values are in a list, how many values are in a tuple. Where is our tuple? Tuple set. Tuple, where is okay. Tuple is where we have creators, tuples, and list also. This is where, yes. Okay. So no issue. You can change this list as a tuple. Doesn't matter. You change this as a tuple. Okay. Tuple, I told you that there are the data types in Python. Friday. That is what today is Monday, na? Tuesday. Tuesday, in I have discussed in the previous classes. Tuple. Now tuple always to be, you remove this comment, otherwise tuple to be. So this is called any indentation. Indentation means margin. So this margin unexpected. So no any margin required here. That is very important. Now tuple to be declared, okay, in a tuple in brackets. Okay, tuple to be declared in brackets. Okay. Now remove this open bracket. Okay. Now, so if you tuple is a data type, same I have used that word. If you are in confusion, you can change tup. Tup is a variable. It holds the different data type. Okay. Some integers are there, float is there, some character, some string. Okay, here no any character, everything is string. Huh? So if you pass this as here, length if you want to tuple. So it gives what tuple has. Type connect unpack non-iterable type object. Where, in which line? Line 42. Line 42, where is the 42? Okay. Okay, actually in the previous class, no, we want to unpack. We want to unpack these. Unpack, I told you that word. Before that it was a list. So that list has these values. So list values can be unpacked. Unpacked means how many values you have assigned here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. Okay. So if these 8 values can be assigned for the variables. After that you can get the printout of each variable. So if you declare the variables like this, every value will be allotted to a variable. Every value is allotted to unpacking. So if you have 8 values, you need to declare 8 variables. If you put a less variable, 7 variable, so it will not be accepted. It will not be accepted. Okay. So tuple in the list, previous session I told you that this is a list. So list can be unpacked, but I have changed this as a tuple. That's why it is giving error. Try to understand. So here what is there? It cannot unpack non-iterable type object. Okay. Non-iterable type object means iteration means whenever we make the loops for loop, while loop, so loop can be iterate means travel through these elements. That is called iteration. Okay. Iteration means list can be considered as a object. So these values can be iterable. Iterable means loop can travel through these elements. But now you have changed the tuple. So we will study all tuple, list, dictionary, set deeply in next coming classes. Okay. These classes already I have briefed to the students, previous whomever have studied at my end. But now I want to give somewhat chance to fresh students because for the students further reference, so many students have requested me that sir, we were unable to attend your classes, so we have missed a lot of classes. So what can I do? I have a lot of code, 1,000 pages code that can be sent to you. Apart from that, whenever I have the time, so I want to record all that previous classes from basic zero to, okay. I want to record. I am recording now. That's why I am intimating all of you, whomever wants to be part of these classes. It is a chance to you to understand them from the starting. And these same classes will be kept in the YouTube. Okay, that's why I am recording again from starting. Yeah. So normal that weekdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday classes, they are the advanced classes. I am going advanced. The thread synchronization, and the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday thread counter, semaphores, they will be advanced classes. So whenever I will get the time, I will record the classes from starting zero and I will keep on YouTube. Okay, that's why I'm doing this efforts. Now try to understand. Okay, now here, now it is tuple. Okay, tuple, it can't be iterable. Na? So actually what we want to do, so now this is that moment what I want, length. Na? I am trying to do length of this tuple. Na? So you don't, you keep it as a, okay, list. There is no any issue. Okay, now this is okay. Now unpacking will be done. So name top is not defined. Okay, because you need to change this as list. Na? So list is okay. Now it is okay. Now it is done. So now next topic is what? Topic, okay, len function. Okay, I have discussed it with that. One is that input function. One more function I want to discuss, input function. So what is the use of that input function? Input function. Input function, that is it is used to take the input from the user. How to get the input from the user? Input function. Okay. So first of all, to take input function, how? So here you need to write, suppose input in bracket. Suppose if you want to take input as somewhat like this, what is your name? What is your name? Okay, this is okay. Now this string type of data I want to see on the display. So how? So I have used input function. This input function will display this string on the display. Let us see. So what is your name? So that is okay. But question is what? So I want to, after some time, means 10 days after, I want to get this string again. So as I told you that if you want to get any data, so you need to keep them all in memory. So by variables. So you create a variable XYZ. I told you that XYZ. So simply you keep name. Name is a variable. So name. So you alert this. Okay. You now assign this. So now what happened? This total string will be, this total string means not total string. So whatever the user, now if I compile this one, here you pass, what happened here? What is your name? This is na. So now this value, whatever you pass, that will be stored in name variable. Okay, name variable. So after that, if you want to get that, okay, so you can get it. So let us check that how it is. It will be happened. Now what is your name? So here you passed your name. Your name is what was. Now entered. Okay, now enter. So now that enter means that was stored in a variable, where in a name variable. So now you want to get that, yeah, really by print, you pass that variable. Okay. So now you enter. What is your name? You pass Ravi. Ravi. Now Ravi is where Ravi stored in name variable. So after that, you have requested to get print out of that variable value. So that is Ravi. So input function that is used to take the user input, like print function to see, to print out, to print get print out. Otherwise, you want to see the result on the screen. So print function will be used. Okay, simply. So input function to get from the user input. Okay. And then ID function, I told you. ID function, suppose you have now, what is your name? Here name is equal to suppose Venki. Okay. So now Venki is stored in where? That is stored in name variable. Now if you want to know, if you want to know where is that name variable, what is the memory location? Simply you print bracket ID, ID function. ID, now ID of what? ID function used to use it to know the memory location. This memory location, this is a variable. I told you that within that variable some your user input is stored. So you want to know that. Okay. If you pass here Ravi, Ravi is a name, it is stored. Now Ravi is stored in name variable. So now wherever the data means Ravi is a string type of data stored in variable name. Its location, memory location is called this one. Okay. By ID function, we can get the memory location of your variables. Okay. As I told you that variables are called, they are the memory, they are the names kept for the memory location. Labels. Simply you can say the memory locations are labeled as variables. Okay. Sometimes they are called these variables. Variables means I told you that no, two parts is equal to part and is equal to right side part are called values. Is equal to left side part are called variables. Sometimes they are called in programming identifiers. Try to understand. These variables in programming called identifiers, all the variables, and that values we assign for the variables are called literals. Okay, string literals, float literals, okay, and integer literals. Okay. Now, sometime you will in programming you will get these identifiers and these literals and somewhat comma, some separators, where I have given separator normally colons. Okay, plus operator, minus operator. Those that small elements which support in the programming, they are called tokens. They are called what? Tokens. Tokens are what? Tokens means small elements support in programming. So small elements are what? Like what? As I told you that one are operators. Operators are what? Operators means plus, minus, for multiplication, star operator, division forward slash operators, and some commas and colons. Okay, semicolon. This type of small elements, and sometimes these values, literals which are assigned to variables. Okay, and sometimes these are separators, as I told you this. Sometimes mm, identifiers. Okay, means which will support in programming. Minute means small elements which support in programming. They are called tokens. Okay, so now try to understand. Let us go for where is that topics. So output variables, I have briefed you. Output variables are what? As I told you that how to get the output by print function. So multiple variables, as I told you that declared like x is equal to this one. After that by comma, three variables declared and values assigned for x, y, z. And now I want to get output of multiple variables. Multiple means three variables. Okay, by comma x, y, z. Just I have done it. I have shown in the programming. This is here. I have declared three variables x comma y comma z. Okay, by putting a comma, multiple variables, a single output of multiple variables, single line. Okay, now come down. So now we will follow the syllabus. Now next is what? Plus operator. The plus operator can be used to get output of multiple variables. That moment, if all are string, there is no any problem. You will get the string output. But if integers are here, so you will get the addition output. So here, this is I did here also 5, 10 x plus y. So here concatenation, I told you that concatenation will be done. Concatenation will be, this is called concatenation. Three strings are kept. The three strings are concatenation. Okay. If you change them as integer and they will be added. Okay. If they are not added, so simply you want to keep. So in between of this, you 9 is an integer, but it is a string now. Okay. 10 is an integer, but it is a string. Now here, if you want to change this one as 22, now what happens? X comma y comma z. Here it will add the integers. Here it will add the integers, but these are not integers. X 8, 10, 22. They are the strings. Even the integers kept in quotation marks, single quote, double quote. The Java interpreter understand them as a strings. So here addition will not be takes place. Concatenation. Just 8, 10, 22. You will get the output like this. See here. 8, 10, 22. Here also 8, 10, 22. Because x comma y comma z. X plus y plus z. Just concatenation means concatenation is string. So Java interpreter understand them as a string. Okay. This is the story. Miracle. Don't worry. Next is what? Come down here. The same thing here. So plus operator, plus character. So it will function as a mathematical operator. We have done it. So addition will be takes place. So in the print function when you. So one more thing here I want to explain. Suppose this is okay. This is a string. Okay, now if I want to keep this as a integer, okay, this is string, this is integer, this is string. What will be happen? Let us see. So error is there. Any error is here? 8, 10, 22. First line, okay. First line, why? Because x, y, comma, z. Here also it is okay, but I want to do some word. Where is that? Okay, leave it that. If I want to keep it as a string, then what happens? This is this is a number. That's why it's not giving any error. But I want to give a string type of data. This is Chaitanya. Chaitanya is a string. So then what happens? So this type of error you will get. This is called can only concatenate string to string. Concatenation means addition of strings, but concatenation can't be done with the string with integer. Where is the integer? Which line? In 52 line. Come to the 52 line. Here, what happened? X is what? X is a string. Y is what? Y is a integer. So Z is what? It is a string. So concatenation, if you want to concatenate, means addition. String to string is okay, but string to integer not okay. This is an integer. Okay, this type of problem you will face whenever, especially you want to use plus operator. Okay, that moment you can done these by simply comma x comma y comma z. The thing here. See, it is interpreter based program. Python, it is interpreter based program. That's why what it does, the interpreter, it checks line by line. Means if I have written 59 line of code, error is here in which line? Error is in 52 line. So interpreter stops here. It will not go ahead until unless the programmer will not debug it, until unless the programmer fix it. That is the problem of interpreter. But compiler, it runs all the code in a single glance. After that, it will indicate that where are the errors. So our compiler stops at 52 line. So okay, so after that, and the next line of code will not be executed. So we need to resolve this one. Until unless we will not resolve, it will not go ahead. So now come down here. First, let's resolve this line, 52 line. You need to do what? X plus y plus z concatenation. You want to do that. Now this is a string. This is a string. You need to change this as a string. Okay, string, single quotation, double quotation mark, anything you can keep here. XYZ number you have to, doesn't matter. This number, a float number you have taken. This float also will be considered as a string. Okay, now you get this output as 848 544.95 Chaitanya. Okay, so this is the story of that concatenation. Now come down. Next is topic is what? This is the story. Yeah? This up to if two integers are okay, it can they can be added. So if one integer is there, one string is there, if you want to add, concatenate, plus, so that time it will give the error. Why error? Concatenation can be done with the string to string, but not with the string to integer. Okay, that is done. The best way to output multiple variables in print function. Commas. Already we have done it. Commas. Now come down. This is over. This class totally. I want to now cover the total syllabus from in these classes from zero classes. No, I want to touch very whatever the in previous classes. If I left any small points, so which will be useful in programming. So I want to go through the syllabus. That's why I am checking that. So every point I want to touch how to get output variables by print function. Simply we will use the print function. Many times we have done it. So output multiple variables. Here multiple variables declared. How to get the multiple variable output in print function? Single line. you put the comma in between the variables. Simply we have done plus operator. We have used the concatenation of the strings. So, but that moment all the variables must have the string type of data. If three variables declared, if any variable has the integer data type, it will give the error. The interpreter indicate that the concatenation can be done between the string to string, not for string to integer. Okay, now come down. This is okay. So that is what, okay. Without the, okay, this line is indicating what, if, see, this line is indicating, I told you that if three strings are there, you want to concatenate. So if you will not give any space, so they will be put like what, try to understand. See, here is a string, Vasu, and this is a string. As I told you that this is Vasu is good boy, otherwise he is good. Okay. So if you don't want to give any space here, then what happen? All will be put near by near. That is okay. So now you will get the output as single. Where is that? Now you clears the screen. You clears the screen. Now you try to compile anyone. Now see, Vasu is good. This is okay because somewhat difference between space between white space between the words. But what about the, it is not looking well. No? It is looking somewhat awkward. Okay, here you have separated with the commas. Here concatenation done with the strings. Okay, but there is no any separation. That moment you give somewhat space here. So automatically you will get somewhat space. Okay. Now we compile this one. This is okay. So that is the meaning of that line. Huh? So now come down here. Where is this is the meaning of this line. Same we are getting like this. No? So I have solved this one. Okay, mathematical opera I have done it. Now try combine a string and number. So concatenation can't be done. I have completed this one. Okay, everything is okay. Now come down output variables. So now global variables. We will try to understand what is the global variables. So come here. Where is our no? So like it is somewhat lengthy code. So we will go for separate. That is one file. Open a new file in Python. Python file untitled. Okay. Now topic is what? Our global variables. Global variables. Where is that? Global variables. Okay, global variables. What do you mean by global variables? So if we declare a variable outside of the function, then it is called as global variable. Okay. Okay. Now come. What do you mean of try to understand? If we declare a variable outside of the function, okay, outside of the function. So in these classes, I have not told you what is the function, okay, but so but actually no. So I started from zero. So I have not briefed you function. But however, simply I want to focus over that. It is part of your variables. So now come down here in the previous classes. Where is that? This is where. Hmm, okay. Here is what any function I have declared. So no issue. I want to come here. Open any file. I want to go for here in my folder Java Python VS Code Python. Okay, thread state. So open any. Okay, now come here. Here, try to understand here. This is our this is we are working over global variables. Is the previous code I have written. See, any function is there, na? So always in Python, a function will be declared with the def keyword. After that, function name, okay? Every function have somewhat brackets, okay? See, I will write the code here. So here, suppose def, now come down, where is that? So I want to def is what keyword, and after that function name add, okay? Now in between, I told you that any function must have brackets suffixed with. Prefixed means just before that, suffixed means after that. So after the name of this function, they must be suffixed with the brackets. These are called parentheses. Why it is giving error means one column, okay, one column. Now it is okay. Now why it is giving error? It is expected indentation means what, you know, in Python, margin. So no any margin, okay? So this is the margin here, okay, no issue. So once function is declared, it is to be put somewhat pass. That's why it is giving error. Why? Because now, if you don't want to write any code, just under a function, so it will give error. So put a pass keyword. If you remove this pass, it will give error, okay? Okay. Expected indented black, but I have not put any margin here, still it is giving error. So that's why keep a statement pass. That pass must be under the def function, that is called margin. So if you keep from the starting, it gives error. This is called margin. Actually, you try to understand what is indentation and margin, both are same. Indentation and margin both are same here, okay? Now pass means like this, okay? This is the indentation. Now if you write any code here, that is called your if you write any statement, they are called the statements of this function, okay? Function is created with the def keyword. So what do you mean by global variable? If we declare a variable outside of the function, then it is called a global. Suppose if I write x is equal to something as 5, now this is called a global variable. You comment here, this is called global variable. So what about that? If I declare inside of this x is equal to 10, now this is called a local variable, because this x declared inside of the function, but with the same name, there is no issue. Now it functions as a local variable, but it is giving error. Why? Because always the statement which is written inside of the function, no, we need for some margin, one tab means 4 spaces, okay? Now remove this pass. Why? Because I have written some line of code. Now if there is no line of code, then I will keep pass. Now this line of statement, it is part of this def function, okay? If you keep it, so now this statement is not part of def function, that is called indentation. So every, now we can say that this is a block. Under this block, how many instructions you want to follow? Every instruction with the same margin, okay? Now if you want to keep somewhat even the one space, so it will not be allowed. Why? Because I told you that after this def function, add function, every line of code needs to follow one margin, one indentation. But here, for the second line of statement, you have given one space. It will not be accepted because these two lines part of this block. Okay, block is nothing but some lines of code under the function. So we are stating that these are all lines. They are part of what function. Okay, so that is what. Now global variable declared outside of the function, but inside x is equal to 10. What about this? It is a local variable. You comment this as a local variable. Local, it is local variable. Now how can we get output of this printout? So simply you call this as, now call the function add, we call it. So then what happened? This print of what? Print of x here. Now whenever you call this add function, this print 10 will be printed, but not 5, because you have used this x declared inside of the function as a local variable. Okay, this is outside of the function, but this can be used inside of the function also. That is the story. I will explain. Huh? Now you compile it. Now what is happening here? You try to, first of all, you keep a name for this file. This is what global. Global means global variable. Huh? .py, that is very important. .py means, .py means what? It is a file, Python file. Okay. In Java file, .java file. Okay. Now you compile it. You have gotten 10. This is local variable. This is what? Local variable value. You put a string here, value of local variable, value of local variable. Okay. And then comma is a string. Okay. Now, so you will see like this value of local variable. So if I want to access this x global variable, I told you that global variable, it is declared outside of the function, but we can use inside of the function also. Inside of the function. So how to get it inside of the function? That is the story. So you call it inside. So see what happened. Now if you declared inside of the function a local variable x is equal to 10. Now whenever you call this function, you get the 10 output. Suppose if I have not declared any variable here, local variable, so then still I have called x. How? This x is declared outside of the function. Now global variable, it is global variable means it can be used outside of the function, inside of the function. Inside of the function, I have not used any, I have not declared any local variable. Now I can use this. So same, you will get the output as, now you will get what? Value of local variable 5. Now you need to change the local variable. You need to value of global variable. Global. Why? Because you have not declared any variable inside of the function, but variable declared outside of the function, that is a global variable. So you have called that used in inside of the function. So now value of global variable. Okay, by whenever you call this add function. So now to come to the point. Now if you have declared with the same name as global variable x is equal to global variable. With the same name you have created x, a local variable, but its value is separate. So then what happened? This global variable will be as it is with the global variable, but this x will have a local variable value. Okay. So now let us try to understand. So here now this x is a variable, global variable. It has a string value. It has a string. String can be represented in, okay, represented in single quotation mark, double quotation marks. So x is equal to also. Here this is a string. This is a string. Okay. Now Rahul. This is okay. Now what happened if I call this one, call add function. So then what value, both are x. This is local variable, global variable is equal to x, local variable is x, but they have different values. Okay, now here which value will be called when I call this? So local variable value. See, now see what is local variable, Rahul. You will get the value as Rahul. Means you, by the calling of function, so this print statement declared inside of the function. So this local variable will be called. So you change this as local variable. Local value of local variable, that is equal to Rahul. So if how can I, because both are same. This is x, this is x. How can I call it? If anytime inside you call na, one more print statement, if you call, you will get only local variable. So copy. If you call inside of the statement, inside of your function, you will get only Rahul again and again. You will get Rahul again inside, because you are calling inside. If you want to call this global variable, you need to come outside of that, outside of the function. You call print bracket, okay, x. Okay, now you will get this. Okay, you have gotten this one. So it is what, somewhat, if you declare a global variable outside of the function and inside of functions same name, you declare a variable. So inside if you declare, that is called local variable, and whatever the value it has, it retains that value. But your outside global variable